Hey guys, welcome back to our channel Salesforce Tutorials. And today we bring you a little sneak peek into the upcoming release that is Summer 20, which will be available in your orgs in July. And as you all know, that our entire world has been hit with a pandemic, so Salesforce has decided to postpone their release from June to July. So earlier it was scheduled in June, but now because of this COVID-19, it has now been postponed to July. But no worries, you don't have to wait till so long to test what the new features are or to get to know what the new features are. So, this tutorial basically I have designed to fulfill your quest or fulfill your curiosity what the new features will be. So, what I did, I went to the preview org and I found some really amazing features which will be there in your orgs in July and thought of sharing them with you. So, yeah, let's see what the new features are and what the new features the Summer 20 release holds. So yeah, as I said, that Summer 20 has been pushed back from June to July, and that will be in your org depending on what kind of Salesforce instance you are working in. It is important for you to know like when it will be in your org so that you can test out the system of on the new release. And yeah, but then as I already told you, you don't need to wait for so long to for the July to come up. You can still go to the preview orgs as they're available and then check out the features by yourself. Let's begin. So let's begin the quest to explore. So the first feature which I really found very interesting is now you have the release update beta page available in the setup. So if you go to your setup, okay, I'll even show you the same into the preview org which I have. So if you go in here, so this is the preview org. If you can see that I just have 57 days in which this preview org will expire. So I thought of utilizing this and then sharing the features with you. So here, if you see in the setup, you have this release updates beta. If you go on this, here it shows all the new upcoming features which will be there, like restrict access to Aura enabled Apex method. If you want to know what exactly they are, you can go to the view detail. You can see what's changing, what improvements will you see, how your org will be impacted. So all these things you will be able to see once you have the Summer 20. Then you will have this particular page available which will guide you through all the new upcoming features in your org and how they are useful to you. So that's a really good thing. At a glance, we'll able to see what the new features are and what importance do they hold in the org. So the next one you have is now you'll be able to see the entire page into the split view. So console view displays multiple records and their related records on the same screen, and split view displays a list view within a record itself. So as you see here on the screenshot, I will show you the same in the preview org how it looks. So if you go to any of the object, supposedly an account, if you open an account, so this was the earlier, it was already you can see the related list, but here if you see all the tasks and everything from here itself, you can mark them as if you want to change anything of the task, you want to delete it. So all the upcomings and overdue tasks and other things you can easily see it from here. So this is the new split view that will be available in your orgs after the Summer 20 is live. Yeah, that's one good thing that I found out. The third one is now you have something really nice, which is the trended reports. So as you know that you can track the changes over time with historical trend reporting design, which is basically you can highlight changes between 5 snapshot dates, such as 5 business days. That basically means is if there are any changes to the report in like 5 days or 5 weeks or whatever, the changes all of them they can be tracked, and the same will be reflected in the trended reports. And the most trending reports, that is the report which has the most which is being used mostly, and also it has the changes, the most of the changes. Now that section is available in your reports, wherein you have the trended report section. So we'll quickly go to reports. If you see in here, you have these were options were already available, like created by me. Then you had the private reports, the public reports. You had now this is the new option, that is the trended reports. So the report that I don't have it as of the moment, but the report that has a lot of changes and significant changes have been made in like past 5 6 days or business days, that will appear here. So this is something really nice. In one glance, you will get to know which is the report that is mostly used, just like the trending ones. So yeah, this was one of the good feature I really liked, and I'm really looking forward when this key feature comes alive in my org. Fourth one is also related to reports. So now you'll be able to add a chat attachment to the subscribe reports. So all the reports that you have subscribed, you can now add them as attachments. So it will be easier for users. You don't need to explicitly export the report, then send it to somebody through your email. That option is now easily available in your org. But for this, what you need to do is you need to have in your report and dashboard user interface setting, you need to have this option enabled, that is let user attach reports as files to report subscription emails in Lightning Experience. So once you have this option enabled, whenever you are creating a report, you can directly email it to your user or to anyone or to the recipient in either Excel or CSV format. So I'll show you. So like this is my report. I go to any of the report here. Once I subscribe to the report, so this is explicitly if you have subscribed to the report, then you get this option, that is attach report. Here you will have two options. You want to be it do you want it to be in a formatted format? So what formatted format means is export the report as it appears in Salesforce, including the report header, grouping, and filter criteria. So here you have this will be in the Excel format. And if you only want the details, that is you don't want to have a detailed view, then you can go for this. Here this is the CSV format. So this is a really nice option, and um, here you can decide who you want to send the email to, or who you want to email the report. So yeah, for this to be enabled in your org, you need to have this checkbox checked, that is let user attach reports. If you have this permission, you will be easily able to attach the reports either in Excel format or in the CSV format and then directly email it. The one of the best feature which the upcoming release holds is the Salesforce optimizer. So in just one glance, you will be able to run an entire report on your org, and you will be able to see what exactly are the results of the optimization, what exactly you can optimize. Yep. So I'll show you here. Just go to your setup, just type in optimizer. So this will analyze your implementation to find out ways to simplify customizations and drive feature adoptions. Consider running Optimizer as part of your monthly maintenance before installing a new app, before each Salesforce release, or at least a quarter. So this is the best practice that they are suggesting. So here I have allowed access for the optimizer to run, and what I'll do is I'll just simply run my optimizer. So this is I ran it last time, so I have these kind of the results available, but I'll still run it again. So see, as it says, the scan can take up to 24 hours. So I don't want to wait for 24 hours to proceed with the features. If you see, I'll just open up one of the reports that I already have last time that I ran. So here is the report. So it says one user accessed Salesforce with an unsupported browser within the past 30 days. So this is what your optimizer does. Once you run it, it will give you the results, and then it will tell you like, was it related to unsupported browser, was it related to some of the unused dashboards that you have, unused reports, what are the unused reports, all that. So all the unused things which are not frequently used or which were used long back, the optimizer will give you the result of whatever things are still unused, and then accordingly you can decide whether you want to keep them in your Salesforce log or you want to delete it. So this is really nice. At one glance you get to know all the unused things. Yep. Now coming to flows. So here now we can have the before and after handling in flow triggers. So with the Summer 20, we are seeing yet another step in flow becoming a full-fledged declarative alternative to Apex. Now it has the ability to handle before and after events. So as your triggers did, now the flows also, you can classify them into whether you want to have your flow triggered before or after an after event. So this is really good, and it will empower declarative programming. So instead of being an auto launch flow, this will now be known as a record change flow. So if you see, earlier we only used to have some of the options like whether you want to be an auto launch flow or you want to be you want it to be a screen flow. Now you have a record change flow. So when you have the record change flow, you can define it like, do you want it to be executed after or before of any event. So once you build up a flow, therein you can configure it like, if you see, trigger the flow when, you can decide when you want to trigger it, like when a record is created or updated, or whether it is updated as well as created. And then you can also define when do you want to run the flow. So do you want to run it before the record is saved, or do you want to run it after the record is saved? This is really nice. You don't have to go through the process of entirely writing a trigger. What you can directly do is, through point and click, you can just develop a flow and then use it as a trigger for your before and after events. This is really nice, for all those people who are not that comfortable with Apex as of the moment. So you can you have this good option available of flows. Yeah, and the last one which I could find out from our preview org is, now you have the option of rollback mode in Flow Debugger. So with rollback mode enabled in your Flow Debugger, any changes that are executed by your flow won't be saved while you test it. This will help you keep your data clean and tidy while you create and test your flows. This is one of those tiny changes that will have a huge impact. Exactly, that will have a huge impact. So if you go to any of your flows, I'll quickly show you. I have this flow which is an auto launch one. If I just go to debug, see, here you have the option of enabling a rollback mode. So if you enable it, any changes that you make, it will not impact your processing, and you can test your flow easily. So yeah, these are some of the features that I explored till now. If I explore some more, even after the release notes come up, or even during my quest for exploration, then that time I'll also share you the other features. In the meantime, what I'll do is, at the end of the video and in my description box, I'll share you the link wherein you can register for the preview org, and you can explore the upcoming features by yourself. And yeah, I hope you like this video, and please like and subscribe to the channel, because we will make more and more videos to enhance your learning. And do let us know your feedback on this. Yep. So signing it off, and please do take good care of yourself and others. Yeah, see you in the next video. Thank you.